Well, we aim to be the replacement or competitor to Google Maps and Yelp. So we're rolling out an app later this year where you can go discover and save maps. And there are a ton of cool features that actually go along with that.
Welcome to the Business Ownership Podcast, brought to you by Awareness Strategies, helping you navigate the waters between entrepreneurship and ownership. Hey there, peeps. This is Michelle Nedelec, and I am super glad that you're here with us today because I am here with my most amazing guest, Chelsey. Chelsey, thank you so much for being here with us today.
Thank you for having me.
Awesome. So give us a 5,000-foot view of who you are and what you love to do.
I am the Chief Operating Officer and co-founder of a company called Proxi. We allow anyone, any business or individual to head to our website and use our mapping technology to create a custom interactive map for their friends or for their following or viewership. And I am a serial entrepreneur. So even in my free time, I love building businesses, and that's what I kind of live, eat and breathe, or whatever that saying is. So.
And businesses. Awesome. So I'm assuming it's not a physical map that you're creating.
That's
what kind
right.
of map is it that you're creating for?
So it's a digital map. Mm-hmm. If you've ever used Google My Maps, it is a similar product, but better. So you can create a map, customize it if you're a business or brand to your branding standards. If you're an individual, you can just leave it as is. And then you can add points to the map and you can share the map right away. You can even embed the map in your website or link in bio. And then one feature that we have that's pretty unique is the ability to crowdsource your map. That is where you can ask your friends, your following to add points to this map. So if you're going on vacation and you want input from others on where you should go and what you should do in a certain place, you can have them populate it. If you are a business or a brand, you might want to engage your audience with a question like where they're from or places they'd recommend or something like that. But yeah, so we're a competitor to Google My Maps and alternatively to hiring a dev to build a custom map for you.
Very cool. So we will get into the ins and outs of this and how it helps businesses, but let's back up the bus a bit. And how did you get into this?
Well, that's a really good question.
I think I'll make maps.
So it's my co-founder and I who started this business in October of 2020. Out of the two of us, I am more of the business side of things. So I have built and sold 2 businesses to date, as well as having some corporate America experience. But my co-founder, Melinda, was a geospatial tool builder for a U.S. intelligence agency. And so she built geospatial tools for people in the field. And what that means is that she's just really good at taking data that is geospatial and visualizing it. So what happened?
Let's stop that right there and go, what is geophysical?
Yeah, so geospatial is just like the study of maps, basically. So where things are in the world. It can have a million different, implications or directions to that word, but basically it's mapping and knowing where things are. And visualizing it. Okay, so we both live in the Seattle area. She's in this Seattle parent Facebook group, and it was the October of the first Halloween of the pandemic. And of course, parents are obsessed with getting their kids a great holiday experience. And one post in the group was, hey, if you're providing a safe trick-or-treating experience, i.e. you're doing like a candy bowl or even a candy shoot, then leave your address in the comments here so people know to stop by. Now, she looked at this list of addresses and she thought, boy, this doesn't make any sense, right? Because what are you going to do? Type in the first address, go there, and then type in the second address, which happens to be 30 minutes from the first address. And then the third address is right next door to the first. It just needs to be visualized. And so given her background, she was able to put together a string of tools that are on the market today, namely a Google form to a Google Sheet to a Google My Map, to have people crowdsource this trick-or-treating map. And this map went viral. So it got 2,500 points added to the map in Seattle, got on Good Morning America, etc. But meanwhile, she calls me because we've been friends for about a decade. And she was just like, Chelsey, I think there's a business idea here. No, there are no crowdsourceable mapping tools on the market. And I said, that can't be true. It's 2020. Like it just has to exist. But we couldn't find anything. And so we went out and built the first MVP. That was, the main feature was crowdsourceable mapping. Mm-hmm. And then we discovered that people need more features, or they desired more features when they casually mapped things in their life. So our business focuses on casual cartographers rather than geospatial experts, because they have plenty of technical tools in the market for them, but there are no real great tools that are free, easy to use, and customized just for the average Joe.
Well, that's awesome. So forgive my age and inexperience in the digital world. So is it kind of sort of like TripAdvisor except for different, or is it?
Yeah, so that's one way to look at it. So it's basically like a personal trip advisor. So you would put together your trip itinerary using one of our maps. You would organize all of that data that you're currently collecting in like a notebook or in an Excel doc.
So it's like those things you used to get when you go to Disneyland way back. You were probably, 2. But you could book your trip to Disneyland and they would give you a little map of how to get there from wherever you were driving there to, so you could just kind of flip the map and see which road you're supposed to be on.
Yes,
and ignore the whole rest of the world.
Exactly. So when you add your trip itinerary pieces or points to the map, you can then access your map on your phone, and you can click get directions to every point on the map. Pretty soon you're going to be able to order them in a specific order, even add date time to these points. So it will be a really great assistance for people and families and friends planning trips, because everyone can access the map and add to it. Now, from a discoverability standpoint, from like the TripAdvisor standpoint, when you go there and you say, what should I do? Where should I eat when I go to a certain place? We are building out an app where everyone's maps can be discovered. So I can see Michelle's map to Disney World, like you're mapping out all of your favorite places to go within the parks, or even, what to do and see along the way if you're driving there. And I can access that map and save it and save different points to my own maps, kind of like a Pinterest collection of maps, if that makes sense. So
absolutely.
Yes.
Because all the people that go to Disneyland that live there and go like every weekend they know what to see and when to see it, what time of day, everything. It's like, I just want to steal their map so that I don't have to figure this stuff out, because I'm only going once every 10 years.
And then the cool part about that, same. And the cool part about that is that you're not like referencing a written document. You're not reading a lot of heavy text and trying to put that in your head, like, well, where is that compared to me? You can just see it all right there. And it's just the best way to visualize where you're going and what you're doing.
Very cool. So I can totally see the application for someone like Disney to go, hey, go download the app and get this, and you'll get everybody else's stuff, which would make their life a lot easier too, I would think.
Yes.
And because it's going to even out all the people going to all this stuff. I could see travel agencies and things using it. What other applications do you see?
So hotels use it a lot, or short-term vacation rental owners use our. Yep, exactly. So the host will use it and provide it to guests upon check-in. From a really true business perspective, like a chamber of commerce might use it to highlight local businesses, or like a relocation guide for their city. Nonprofits use it to map out volunteer work parties and to visualize data for their investors or funders. Individuals will use it to map out cool murals in a city, or, a bucket list of things they want to do in their places they want to go in their lifetime. So it has a very wide breadth of use cases, even all the way to like humanitarian aid.
And another one that came up was the Seattle Marathon. The jazz marathon would be awesome, because then you know which bands are playing where, you know what other things are in the vicinity, and that'd be awesome.
We're not working with them now, but that's a great idea. And it's perfect for things like that. Like we partner with a lot of race organizers, like an unofficial Boston Marathon group. We worked with an unofficial South by Southwest group in terms of events, an unofficial group with the World Economic Forum. So it's definitely stretched in terms of use cases, and many features are coming down the pipeline to support.
I got to set you up with a couple of people I know that are in the B&B arena, because a lot of like when somebody goes and rents a place in Seattle, like I might go there to that B&B, and a lot of the people will say, if you want to increase the value of it, create the experience for the person staying there, right? It's not just a bed in a room, it's an experience. So this could add to the level of experience. Not only are you telling me what's in the vicinity, I could pick, hey, I'm a nightclub kind of person. I'm an art kind of person. I'm a museum kind of person. I could pick my interest and then have the maps accordingly.
Exactly. So you could either do a different map for every different type of group that visits your home. Like it's a bachelorette party visiting versus like it's a couple coming to view jazz music or listen to jazz music or something. And then what's cool about the maps is for every map point that you add, you can add details to that map point. So if you're recommending like a certain restaurant or something, part of the importance of our map is discovering the true local knowledge. So like, it's not just that you're adding the restaurant to it, it's what is your favorite thing to get at that restaurant, or adding that additional little context to the places that you're putting on the map as well.
Nice. I love that. And that reminds me too of the very first time I went to Mexico. Instead of going and doing the tourist thing, we were looking around and there was a bunch of locals kind of hanging out. It was a Saturday and I'm like, hey, anybody want to take us on a tour of your favorite places for $100? And they're like, what? Like, seriously, I want to go meet your friends. I want to go to the places you go. I don't want to do the touristy thing. And they're like, hell yeah, come on in. So it was super fun. It was blast.
How was that experience? What did you end up doing?
It was phenomenal. So we went and, they had art shops and stuff that they knew. And there was the local restaurants that didn't have the best advertising and the best sign out front. They're like, oh, but you have to have the cerveza here, and you have to have the seafood appetizers and stuff. And we just went and ate and drank and watched and saw, and they thought that was just hilarious and awesome. And we thought it was fantastic too. So it was one of the best, because it wasn't just, oh, here's a local restaurant, can I have a table for two? It's like, hey, this is my buddy and come and meet these guys and they're from Canada. It was just a way better experience.
What an awesome thing to do. I'll remember that for my next trip.
And it's great because you can go to the big touristy things, which is awesome. I mean, obviously they're tourist attractions for a reason, but sometimes you just want to go and see what the locals do and why they like it. And it's awesome.
Absolutely.
Love that. This is fabulous. So when it comes to a business kind of setting up and registering, is it kind of like Google My Business? You just go in, you register and do your thing, or how does it work?
On the map on Proxi?
Yeah.
So anyone can go to the site today. It's a free technology. So any individual or business can head there right now, and you click make a map. And the next step is putting in your map title, your map center. So wherever you want it to center, and then your email address. And your email address is just so that we can email you your private login details. Mm-hmm. And then the map appears right away after you click submit. Once the map appears, you add points, you can add categories, and you can adjust nearly anything you want to about the map. I wish, podcasts were more visual, because I would, it's just so fun to show it off, because once
show it off, we can send them to our website and go, hey, go check it out, or you can send them to Proxi directly.
Fun. Well, yeah, let me pull it up and see if I can just share my screen real quick. So,
So I got to ask, from a business perspective, how do you guys make your money?
Yeah, we're pre-revenue right now.
Okay.
We are funded by investors, venture capital firms and angel investors. And when we go to make money one day, we will do so from enterprise partnerships. So partnerships with people like Hilton or, you know,
Enterprise.
yeah, you
gotta
know,
rent a car. You gotta
right? Yeah, like even rental car places, right? Like they could recommend all their favorite spots. So
totally cool. So it's Proxi with an I, people.
Proxi with an I. proxi.co.com. We didn't get the com. But you can start with a template or just a blank map. So for everyone listening, I'm clicking on template and I'm going to click on area guide. So vacation rental area guide as the template. And I'm just going to, for the map,
go to Seattle.
I'll put Chelsey's map of Seattle.
Perfect.
And then the map center will do Seattle and a large city. And we'll just put in my email. Oh my goodness, I didn't.
So how many maps do you have under your name?
I have a lot. You don't want to know. So you can see that because I had clicked vacation rental guide, that some categories pre-populated up here, like the home base is one of them, food and drink, grocery and convenience, culture and activities, shopping, outdoor activities, and great for kids. You can change any of these categories and also customize the icon that's associated. But let's just add like 2 points just for visual. We can do the Space Needle.
Of course, always good one, especially with the art gallery right next door.
Yes, we'll do culture and activities, and then
and the museum right there too.
Yes, it's so fun to go. And then we can do Pike Place Market. And
fabulous flowers. Oh my god, the flowers.
Oh my gosh, don't you just love getting
the flowers?
Yes, I'm from Texas originally, and when I got here, I was like, you've got to be kidding that these flowers are so affordable and just
beyond. It was so
beyond.
weird. It was so awesome. It's like I was in heaven. Like, oh my god, this is awesome.
Yes.
One of the 280 reasons why I love Seattle.
Oh, same. So now these couple of points have already appeared on the map, and you can see that Google Images are pre-populated and associated with these map points. You can turn that off if you wish to include your own photos here, but it just is like that for now. And I could have added some more detail in here, but you can get directions, you can feature a point. For instance, if you are a business or you're working with a business as like a content creator, you could say, hey, if you want to sponsor my map, I'll feature this map point for you. So it would glow, or you could feature like your home or something like that. Nice. Yeah, so that's basically how it works. And we designed it to look a little bit like Canva because people are very experienced in that.
Yay. Somebody doesn't reinvent the wheel and you got to figure out how everything works.
We want to be the Canva of maps. And so making it super customizable, you can click on any of these customization features off to the left and customize your map however you wish. And then all the share buttons are at the top right. So that's where
then you just take this link and share it with people, or what are you sharing with people when you you
click share map and you just copy the link and I'll show people who are watching that this is how the map looks to someone else.
Awesome. So it's basically the exact same map. You just don't have the menus to augment and change it.
That's right. And so if you share the crowdsourced version, which is the one I'm showing on my screen right now, you can see that anyone can add a point on the map. And so if you crowdsource recommendations to Seattle or something like that, and you could just send that link to your friends.
Very cool.
Yeah.
I like this. So, and I'm thinking for a lot of, hospitality in general, I mean, this would be brilliant and perfect for them. Anything where you're bringing people into town for events and things like that would be fantastic. Conferences, anything.
Weddings, conferences, all of those things would definitely work. Races, and for businesses, there's this button on the left-hand side that says Insights. You can see how many people have come to your map, how many people click on the map points. And this is really important to a business because when they make physical or make recommendations, what they're really aiming toward is understanding how many people actually go to those places that they are recommending. Now, whether that's for like a business partnership standpoint or an advertising standpoint, it's kind of up to the business. But Proxi gives you some basic insights today, but in the very near future, we'll be providing information like how many people get directions to your point, how many people clicked on the URL to this point, and lots of other insights on conversion and how much time people are spending on the map as well.
Nice. And I have no clue how the programming for this might work, but is there any intention of adding kind of reviews and likes? And
that's a really good question. So right now we do have likes. So if you add a point to the map, whoever's viewing it can like it if they so choose. As for commenting, I did mention that my co-founder worked for a US intelligence agency, and then she actually went over to University of Washington to study a few things for her doctorate, but one of which was mis and disinformation online and online communities. And she actually knows from her research that commenting can lead to some, let's say, adverse side effects.
No way. Nobody's ever experienced that in Yelp or anything else. I don't care if I get sued by them. They are the worst. Just saying right there.
Oh, I agree.
Yelp sucks.
We're not going to be doing commenting, but
okay.
That's just how it is. So the map creator can write their description and then everyone else can just go view.
Nice.
Yeah.
Love it. That's awesome.
Well, thank you.
Very cool. And obviously if businesses are doing it, they can change their branding on it and make it look fancy schmancy, or the wedding party can make it look like the wedding and all that kind of fun stuff.
Exactly. So we have some really fun examples on our website if people want to head there. There's a whole featured maps page. It'll show off some business examples, some wedding map examples. So oftentimes people will create a map and embed it on their wedding website, or even text it out to their friends who are coming in town before. And when you have a wedding, you can't always entertain your guests that come in from out of town. So you send them your map and say, hey, this is what I would go do.
Go entertain yourself.
Go entertain yourself. Yeah. Yeah. And then for businesses, you can put your logo on there. You can change the color of the header. You can change the coloring of the map points, the map skin itself, the icon. So people have made some pretty incredible looking maps in the past.
Nice. Have you got any warm, fuzzy stories back from any of your?
Yeah. So just one example with the recent baby formula shortage. I'm sure you've heard of that, and most listeners have, but we actually had a user create a map that connected moms or parents who needed baby formula to those who had baby formula. And yeah, so that was kind of a warm, fuzzy situation. And as a mom who formula fed her kids, it's really great to see that the technology was being used to feed babies. So
right. Hey, and when you need it, like whatever your judgment or whatever is, you go screaming kid, you need food.
You've got to have food. So people are using it for some really wonderful things.
Nice. I love that. That is super cool. So where do you see the map going? Like, what are some of your future kind of, we'd love to have this and we'd love to have that?
Well, we aim to be the replacement or competitor to Google Maps and Yelp. So we're rolling out an app later this year where you can go discover and save maps. And there are a ton of cool features that actually go along with that. But in the long-term future, we aim to be the company that's really pioneering the virtual and physical real world, like the bridge between the two. And how do we get communities back together in real life by bringing out like community knowledge on a map and getting people to actually convert and go to those places and be in real life together. So we're hard at work trying to figure out how to make that happen.
Nice. Well, my number one wish for you is that you kick Yelp's ass as fast as possible. My podcast, I can say that.
That's great. Well, what's your biggest complaint with Yelp? Maybe we can.
It is totally the comments and not being able to remove comments. Even if I said, hey, this sucked, and I put it on the wrong site, I can't take it off, which is asinine and ridiculous. Like, who thinks of this crap? But that's just me. And anybody, the midnight dial-ups going, hey, where's my food? All of those comments and all of the businesses I've ever worked with, like, Yelp is just awful. Like, I don't mind feedback. Feedback's awesome. Like, I Google.
No business owners complaining about feedback. I used to be a local business owner in Seattle, and I'm happy to have constructive feedback, but a Yelp review, especially if it's incorrect, can really break your business. So
yeah, and they didn't account for the fact that some people are just, malicious. And it's like, you got to get rid of that stuff because they haven't even been to the store. They haven't even visited. They're just going around making bad comments. And it's like, yeah, I have a lot of issues with Yelp. So don't be Yelp. Kick Yelp's ass.
I'm glad to hear that we will be hot on their tail. And, I think a big problem, my personal complaint about Yelp is twofold. One of which is, like, when you search for something, it is filled with advertisements. So you don't really know the quality of a business that is being recommended to you. And then B, when I search for restaurants near me, or when you search when you search restaurants near me, we likely mean two really different things. I have a 2-year-old right now. I mean a restaurant where he can scream and accidentally throw food on the floor.
Like Chuck E. Cheese.
Sure. But what you mean when you search restaurant near me might mean a really nice coffee shop or, a great spot for happy hour. But those nuances aren't detected and accounted for when you're searching for Yelp, especially when they're trying to display ads. So hopefully with Proxi, the experience will become a personalized way to navigate the world. So
and I love the map aspect of it, because Yelp to me looks a lot like the Yellow Pages, and it's like, dude, this was out of date before it was out of business. So I like the fact that you have the map, because when I go into an area, I want to be able to see it, right? Like when I'm touring a place, I want to have that visual aspect of, the next art gallery is this way, the next art gallery is that way. And I can see that this is my path and this is what's going on.
Yes. It's interesting that you say it like that, because we recently worked with Seattle Restaurant Week, and we had several 100,000 views on the map. And the reason why I think it was so high was because people love Restaurant Week, right? Like who doesn't love great food at a great price? But the problem behind their prior visualization of these restaurants is that they were all in a list. So you don't really know, like, if you're coming from work, going to home, you couldn't visualize like all of the restaurants along the way. And so that's where our map kind of helped step in, and kind of what you're alluding to with like the art galleries, like it'll show you,
especially to tourists, because like I don't know where Chelsea Street is. I'm sure it's lovely, but how the hell am I supposed to know if I'm on Douglas, whether it's left or right? Like, people, I find that locals tend to assume that tourists know a lot of information that they don't, and it drives me batty. And I love the idea that this in place. There's a place in Windermere, BC, and they have the art stores, or the artists that have stores and whatever have a little association. So they all have maps that they hand out and go, oh, here's your little path. Like, this would be perfect for the tourists to come in and just put it on their map, because then it's saved. I am not going to save a piece of paper and come to my mom and go, oh, when you're in Windermere again, go to this art gallery because they have awesome glass blowing. Like, I'm not going to carry that piece of paper around, but I will send her the map and go, hey, go check this out the next time you're there.
Yeah. And the cool thing about that is that if you were to have remembered to even give her the paper, what if one of those art galleries is now out of business, or what if they're closed? But when you have a map that can be updated, right away, like those changes propagate across everyone's maps right away. So you can always have an up-to-date version of what's going on. And it's just so powerful in that way.
Right. That's awesome. I love it. I can see so many possibilities. This is fabulous.
Yeah.
Especially being the tourist that I am. I mean, I love to travel, and
what's your favorite spot to travel to?
Planet Earth so far.
Just you love all
I haven't stepped off of it, so I don't really know what else is out there, but
got it. Oh my goodness.
We hardly ever visit at the same place twice, and we
really
make a point of not taking the same road home as we took to get there.
Oh my
so
God.
It's we just love seeing other stuff and from different perspectives and all that kind of fun jazz. So
yeah, that's a beautiful way to look at
it. Right. So awesome. Chelsey, you've been absolutely fabulous. Going to the maps and just downloading the maps. Is there any other way that you want people to connect with you or to?
Proxi.co is the best way, Proxi.co. And all of our social media links are on there as well. Follow along. We promote fun maps, and later this year, you'll be able to download the app and then find Michelle's guide to Seattle or Michelle's guide to Mexico City or something like that. But so be on the lookout.
Absolutely. Awesome. So Chelsey, I have to ask you, at what point in life did you know that you were a special kind of crazy enough to think that you could become an entrepreneur?
Well, I've always been a little crazy. So I was age 5 when I started my first business, and I've had one almost ever since.
Fun. When'd you start?
Well, of course, a restaurant in my grandparents' kitchen where all the extended family had to come place their orders, put a nickel on the counter.
I love it.
I would make it, but it's been something ever since. But you know how it is. Got to have a special kind of crazy to go out on your own.
That's awesome. I love it. Awesome. Thank you again, Chelsey, for your time. I appreciate it. I know how valuable it is. Any last words for our peeps?
No, but hope everyone has a wonderful day. In today's climate, hope everyone is just staying kind and calm. So
staying zen. Awesome. Peeps, this is Michelle Nedelec. Thank you for being here with us today. Be sure to subscribe to the show. And if you're looking to scale and automate your business, reach out to me at michelle@awarenessstrategies.com or connect with me on LinkedIn or Facebook. I'd love to hear from you.
Are you running a business over 7 figures but still struggling with technology headaches? Pay attention. You do not want to miss this offer. This podcast episode is brought to you by Awareness Strategies, who is offering a custom-built digital adoption roadmap for anyone running a business over 7 figures who's wanting to grow their business in the next 5 years. And it's not just a roadmap. They offer full implementation as well. If that scares the out of you, check out awarenessstrategies.com/roadmap for more details today. The link's in the show's notes. Don't regret not doing this. Do it now. That's awarenessstrategies.com/roadmap.